Hello students, in the last lecture we have seen ZigBee and Bluetooth Low Energy protocols. In this lecture we will see two new protocols, COAP and MQTT. COAP, that is Constrained Application Protocol. It is a specialized internet application protocol for constrained devices as defined in RFC 7252. It enables those constrained devices called nodes to communicate with the wider internet using similar protocols. COAP is designed for use between devices on the same constrained network. For example, low power lossy networks between devices and general nodes on the internet, and between devices on different constrained networks, both joined by internet. COAP is also being used via other mechanisms such as SMS on mobile communication networks. COAP is a service layer protocol that is intended for use in resource constrained internet devices such as wireless sensor network nodes. COAP is designed to easily translate to HTTP for simplified integration with the web, while also meeting specialized requirements such as multicast support, very low overhead and simplicity. Multicast, low overhead and simplicity are extremely important for IoT and machine to machine, that is M2M devices, which tend to be deeply embedded and have much less memory and power supply than traditional internet devices have. Therefore, efficiency is very important. COAP can run on most devices that support UDP and UDP analog. The Internet Engineering Task Force IETF Constrained RESTful Environments Working Group CORE has done the major standardization work for this protocol. In order to make the protocol suitable for IoT and M2M applications, various new functions have been added. The core of the protocol is specified in RFC 7252. Important extensions are in various stages of standardization process. So here are the COAP features that are constrained web protocol fulfilling M2M requirements, then security binding to datagram transport layer security DTLS, asynchronous message exchanges, low header overhead and passing complexity, URI and content type support, simple proxy and caching capabilities, UDP binding with optional reliability supporting unicast and multicast requests, then a stateless HTTP mapping allowing proxies to be built providing access to COAP resources via HTTP in a uniform way, or for HTTP simple interfaces to be realized alternatively over COAP. With the completion of the COAP with the completion of COAP specification, it is expected that there will be millions of devices deployed in various application domains in the future. These applications range from smart energy, smart grid, building control, intelligent lighting control, industrial control systems, asset tracking to environment monitoring. COAP would become the standard protocol to enable interaction between devices and to support IoT applications. The Constrained RESTful Environments CORE is a work group in IEFT that is designing the COAP protocol. COAP needs to consider optimizing length of datagram and satisfying REST protocol to support URI, that is Uniform Resource Identifier. It also needs to provide dependable communication based on UDP protocol. In the table in the last slide we have seen the features of COAP. Now COAP structure model. COAP interactive model is similar to HTTP's client-server model. Here is the figure that shows that COAP employs a two-layer structure. The bottom layer is a message layer that has been designed to deal with UDP and asynchronous switching. The request response layer concerns communication method and deal with request response message. The structure is shown here. Then message layer protocol. Message layer supports four types of messages. First is CON, that is confirmable. Then NON, non-confirmable. ACK, acknowledgement, and RST, that is reset. First is reliable message transport. Keep retransmission unit get ACK with the same message ID. In the figure, the message ID is 0 into 8C56, so that is hexadecimal number. Using default time out and decreasing counting time exponentially when transmitting CON. If recipient failed to process message, it responds by replacing ACK with RST. So here the figure shows reliable message transport. Unreliable message transport. Transporting with non-type message, that is an NON type message, it doesn't need to be acknowledged but has to contain message ID for supervising in case of retransmission. If recipient failed to process message, server replies RST. So here the figure shows the unreliable message transport. Then a request response layer model. First type is piggybacked. Client sends request using CON type or NON type message and receives response ACK with confirmable message immediately. In the figure shown here, for successful response, ACK content response message identify by using token. For failure response, ACK contain failure response code. Separate response. If server receive a CON type message but not able to respond this request immediately, it will send an empty ACK in case of client resend this message. When server ready to respond this request, it will send a new CON to client and client reply a confirmable message with acknowledgement. ACK is just to confirm CON message, no matter CON message carry a request or a response. So here is the diagram shown, a GET request with a separate response. Non-confirmable request and response. Unlike piggyback response carry confirmable message, in non-confirmable request client and non-type message indicate that server don't need to confirm. Server will resend a non-type message, a NON type message with a response, and this is shown in this diagram. Then a message format of COAP is shown here. COAP is based on the exchange of compact messages that by default are transmitted over UDP. That is, each COAP message occupies the data section of one UDP datagram. Message of COAP uses simple binary format. Message is equal to fixed size 4 minus byte header plus a variable length token plus a sequence of COAP options plus payload. The format is shown here in the table. So option number is equal to option delta plus X option number, and this format is shown here. Security protocol and application for COAP. COAP is now becoming the standard protocol for IoT applications. Security is important to protect the communication between devices. There are three main elements when considering security, namely integrity, authentication, and confidentiality. DTLS can achieve all of them. So, DTLS is the protocol used for security in COAP. IETF modifies DTLS to develop another protocol, DTLS. DTLS employed TCP, which is too complex. DTLS solves two problems, reordering and packet loss. It adds three implements. First is packet retransmission, second is assigning sequence number within the handshake, and third is replay detection. Unlike network layer security protocols, DTLS in application layer protect end-to-end communication. No end-to-end communication protection will make it easy for attacker to access to all text data that passes through a compromised node. DTLS also avoids cryptographic overhead problems that occur in lower layer security protocols. The next protocol is MQTT. So MQTT is MQ telemetry transport, or also it is called as message queuing telemetry transport. It is an open OASIS and ISO standard, lightweight published subscribed network protocol that transports messages between devices. The protocol usually runs over TCP/IP. However, any network protocol that provides ordered, lossless, bidirectional connections can support MQTT. It is designed for connections with remote locations where a small code footprint is required or the network bandwidth is limited. The MQTT protocol defines two types of network entities, a message broker and a number of clients. An MQTT broker is a server that receives all messages from the clients and then routes the messages to the appropriate destination clients. An MQTT client is any device from a microcontroller up to full-fledged server that runs an MQTT library and connects to an MQTT broker over a network. Information is organized in a hierarchy of topics. When a publisher has a new item of data to distribute, it sends a control message with the data to the connected broker. The broker then distributes the information to any clients that have subscribed to that topic. The publisher does not need to have any data on the number of locations of subscribers, and subscribers in turn do not have to be configured with any data about the publishers. If a broker receives a message on a topic for which there are no current subscribers, the broker discards the message unless the publisher of the message designated the message as a retained message. A retained message is a normal MQTT message with a retained flag set to true. The broker stores the last retained message and corresponding QoS for the selected topic. Each client that subscribes to a topic pattern that matches the topic of the retained message receives the retained message immediately after they subscribe. The broker stores only one retained message per topic. This allows new subscribers to a topic to receive the most current value rather than waiting for the next update from a publisher. When a publishing client first connects to the broker, it can set up a default message to be sent to subscribers if a broker detects that the publishing client has unexpectedly disconnected from the broker. Clients only interact with the broker, but a system may contain several broker servers that exchange data based on their current subscribers' topics. A minimal MQTT control message can be as little as 2 bytes of data. A control message can carry nearly 256 megabytes of data if needed. There are 14 defined message types used to connect and disconnect a client from a broker, to publish data, to acknowledge receipt of data, and to supervise the connection between client and server. MQTT relies on the TCP protocol for data transmission. A variant, MQTT-SN, is used over other transports such as UDP or Bluetooth. MQTT sends connection credentials in a plain text format and does not include any measures for security or authentication. This can be provided by using TLS to encrypt and protect the transferred information against interception, modification, or forgery. The default unencrypted MQTT port is 1883. The encrypted port is 8883. MQTT broker. A software running on a computer could be self-built or hosted by a third party, available as an open source and proprietary with extra features added. The broker acts as a post office. MQTT doesn't use the address of the intended recipient but uses the subject line called topic, and anyone who wants a copy of that message will subscribe to that topic. Multiple clients can receive the message from the single broker. Similarly, multiple publishers can publish topics to a single subscriber, that is many to one. Each client can both produce and receive data by both publishing and subscribing, that is, the devices can publish sensor data and still be able to receive the configuration information or control commands. This helps in both sharing data, managing and controlling devices. With MQTT broker architecture, the devices and application becomes decoupled and more secure. MQTT uses transport layer security TLS encryption with username, password protected connections and optional certifications that require clients to provide a certificate file that matches with the servers. The clients are unaware of each other's IP address. In case of single source of failure, broker software and clients have been automatic handover to redundant automatic backup broker. The backup broker the backup broker can also be set up to share the load of the clients across multiple server on-site, cloud, or the combination of both. The broker can support both standard MQTT and MQTT for compliant specifications such as Sparkplug can be done with same server, same time and with same levels of security. The broker can store the data in the form of retained messages so that new subscribers to the topic can get the last value straight away. The broker also keeps track of all the sessions information as the devices goes on and off, called persistent sessions. The main advantages of MQTT broker are eliminates vulnerable and insecure client connections, can easily scale from a single device to thousands, manages and tracks all client connection states including security credentials and certificates, reduce network strain without comprising the security, that is cellular or satellite network. Message types. So there are three types of messages: connect, disconnect and publish. Connect. Example of an MQTT connection: QoS 0 with connect, publish, subscribe and disconnect. The first message from client P is stored due to the retain flag. It waits for a connection to be established with the server and creates a link between the nodes. The diagram is shown here. Then disconnect message. It waits for MQTT client to finish any work it must do and for the TCP/IP session to disconnect. Then publish message. Returns immediately to the application thread after passing the request to the MQTT client. MQTT version 5.0. In 2019, Oasis released the official MQTT 5.0 standard. Version 5.0 includes the following major new features: First is reason codes. Acknowledgements now support written codes which provide a reason for a failure. Then shared subscriptions allow the load to be balanced across the clients and thus reduce the risk of load problems. Then message expiry. Messages can include an expiry date and are deleted if they are not delivered within this time period. Topic alias, the name of the topic can be replaced with a single number. So this is about the MQTT version 5.0. So these are the protocols used for wireless connection in the smart city for IoT connections.